Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Synonymous with Legends cars in the season of summer, it's Charlotte Motor Speedway. Drivers of all ages and skills have come to Charlotte for a summer stretch of racing for over 2 decades. Names like Daniel Hemrick, William Byron, Bubba Wallace, and so many more current NASCAR stars have recently used the summer shootout as a springboard into their careers. This summer, the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour took that idea and ran with it, visiting some iconic short tracks along the way. Finally, the Summer Tour rolls into Concord, North Carolina for the final week of 5. Welcome, race fans, to Pit Stop TV. As usual, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch tonight. Trey Patton joins me at the booth. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV, and this is Pit Stop TV, is a live coverage of the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We join you tonight from the virtual Concord, North Carolina for the final installment of the Summer Tour. And Trey, man, it's certainly been a summer. That's one way to put it. It's been a lot of great racing, a lot of amazing introductions to some of these race car drivers. We've had Jeffrey Wallace work his way up the field as of late. Matthew Hughes, Brandon Holtzclaw, they've all done amazing things, but I mean, it does nothing compared to what Parker Retzlaff has done this Summer Tour. We don't see him in the session just yet, though. At least unless I'm missing something here, I do not see what I'm assuming to be a champion here. It could still go awry. If he doesn't show up, he might still lose the championship, but Trey, he's put an amazing summer together, winning 6 of the 7 races that have been run, and tonight we'll go up to 8 and 9 races, and I mean, he's got to show up.
Yeah, I think just from what we were looking at, I don't think if he shows up, I don't think he'll have it locked in as we have our point standings up here. As we see right here, he has 6 wins on the season, as you mentioned. Matthew Hughes behind by about 250 points, roughly. I mean,
it is exactly 250.
Yeah, 250,
so
yeah.
I'm not certain of the points spread. In fact, I'm going to try and educate myself on that real quickly. Let me try and do that right quick, because I mean it's close to whether or not that is in reach. So it looks like after week 1, Parker Retzlaff, I believe, yeah, he won 1 race and was second in the others. So it looks like if 350 is the max, maybe 175 is about what you can get for 1 race. So it's tight, it's close.
Definitely going to be really close for them there, or for Parker there. Matthew Hughes going to be driving his heart out tonight, just like the rest of these guys here. But nonetheless, we expect some good racing here. Looks like these guys have put in a lot of practice. We've been following them through for the last half an hour, and a lot of laps have been logged, so hopefully it shows.
And as I mentioned, this has been a summer tour, not just a summer shootout at Charlotte Motor Speedway, if you're familiar with that. This has been a true tour across the Southeast, going to some amazing short tracks. We've got them all pictured here. You see South Boston up top. That was the season opener. An amazing 4/10 mile short track, I believe. I don't think I'm mixing that. I'm pretty sure it's 4/10 up in South Boston, Virginia. I mean, it's one of the cooler racetracks, I think, in America. I'm very glad that we got to broadcast some racing from there. Go down to Lanier Raceplex, another really cool facility down in Brazelton, Georgia, literally across the street from iconic road course, Road Atlanta. That was a lot of fun that week. Then we went back up into North Carolina, actually, over into Lucama for Southern National Motorsports Park for week 3. That was a lot of fun as well. Finally, 2 weeks ago, was USA International Speedway. Another amazing short track, no longer with us, unfortunately. And now finally we come up to Charlotte Motor Speedway. 5 amazing racetracks, Trey, and they put on some great racing.
Absolutely. These guys put on a heck of a show for us, and it's always fun to watch legend cars go around. And, short tracks are always fun to watch, near and dear to my heart. Probably one of my favorite things to watch and to drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And these Legends cars, they're a whole beast of their own. I'm trying to think of how to explain it, really. They have their own little challenges, I guess. They're easy to drive, but at the same time, they're so finicky that they're really hard to drive, actually. They're a good rookie car, I think, for oval racing here on the iRacing.com service, but at the same time, they have so many little tricks to how to race them well that it's definitely a tricky little car. And it takes, well, it can take, anybody can drive one, but it takes someone really, really good at driving a Legends car to do it well. And a lot of these guys have gotten to be pretty darn good in a Legends car. And we've seen guys like Tyler Payne, Cody Moorcroft, Jeffrey Wallace, again, move up the ranks as of late. Parker Retzlaff has just annihilated this field all summer tour long. But, it's been fun to watch some of these guys get better and better throughout the weeks and see the support that the Maconi Setup Shop is giving to this series as well. It's been really, really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, as you mentioned, these cars are fairly easy to drive, but to drive them well is really hard to do. Driving these things, it's very meticulous. So another thing, like for this track in general, here as you see now, since they updated the track, it's no longer grass, it's turf. But it's trying to keep all wheels or all tires on the racing surface, which is general rule of thumb anyway. But trying to, if you touch that turf, you're probably going to get loose and see some cars spin out, which you might see here in practice. But driving these things are very meticulous. They're very touchy. Throttle and steering sensitivity is very key when it comes to these cars.
Yeah, every little thing about these cars is a little bit tricky. Again, easy to drive, hard to drive well. And, well, we're going to move right into qualifying from the looks of things. And we've got 5 minutes, as usual, for these drivers to put a couple of laps down. Corey Hallett, one of the first on the racetrack. I see Charles Gettings out here as well. Travis Hofler even. Brandon Holtzclaw all on the racetrack pretty quickly. The 57 right here pictured of Corey Hallett going to cross the start-finish line, I believe, to finish up his... No, that was his out lap still. So now he will set his first timed lap down the backstretch, gaining speed off into turn 3 before a very flat series of corners. Everything here flat. You don't see banking through the corners, but up onto the front stretch, they get a little bit of banking from that big oval.
Yeah, it's pretty flat throughout most of the track, and as you see here, a little bit of bumps when you get into the pit road and driving through the pit stalls, and as you mentioned, a little bit of banking coming back onto the oval front stretch itself, but most of the track itself is pretty flat.
Yeah, that pit road, of course, used for road course racing, oval racing, whatever it may be here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's certainly been used up over the years, and driving through those concrete pit stalls, that pavement is certainly pretty worn out, pretty bumpy at this point. It throws these cars for a bit of a loop. I do notice we still do not have a Parker Retzlaff with us, so that's going to open this championship up all of a sudden. It looks like he did not make the trip down to Charlotte today, so we'll see if he joins us for race number 2. We see Matthew Hughes on the racetrack. He's finishing up his qualifying run, currently 12th out of 12 to qualify. Joseph Ralph out on the racetrack as well, and Hughes goes up to 10th of 12. Ralph across the start-finish line through 1 and 2. He's going to start his qualifying run.
Going through the field. Actually on track right now is 35. Joseph Ralph going to make his lap now. Looks like, yeah, that's his first time to lap. I was thinking he already did one. Tyler Payne also exiting the pit lane to go on his qualifying run. Joseph Ralph coming to his first time to lap there. That will put him, that would be 10th place as he's coming onto the back straight for his second lap, as now we're watching Tyler Payne go for his first time lap.
Tyler Payne on the racetrack now, and he goes through turns 1 and 2 pretty nicely down the backstretch. You can see the bumps down pit road, and then through turns 3 and 4, he tries to get the power down out of the corner and across the start-finish line. That number 18 going to go up to the top, actually. P1 for Tyler Payne. It's a 16.392 as well. Now through lap number 2, can he do any better? He's all over that turf and all over that white line. Squirrely out of 4. I don't think he's going to be any faster. And in fact, he's not. But you know what? He was right on top of it. From a 16.392 to a 16.395. That is consistency.
Very much so. Definitely, as you saw him there, holding that bottom, holding that white line. That is most definitely the preferred line to get around this place.
Holtzclaw shown here, still turning laps. These are no longer counting for his qualifying run. He's just trying to get some extra practice in the number 13 Wounded Warriors Project Legends car, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. He's looking pretty darn consistent with his line. It's looking like it's coming together. He was pretty quick a couple of weeks back at USA in our most recent event, so I would look for him to be one to challenge for the race to win. That said, he's going to be starting 4th.
Absolutely, he was putting on a heck of a show back at USA. I'd be on the lookout for Jeffrey Wallace and Cody Moorcroft, as we mentioned before. Throughout the course of this season, they've worked their way up to being front runners, and we see here they're going to be starting 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wallace, Cody Moorcroft, solid qualifying runs, as you said. Another solid qualifying run would be that of Eric Steele in 5th place. We saw he was having some troubles getting some laps down in practice, and man, he was turning that car around a lot, but he finally gets a handle on things. P5 for his qualifying run, not so bad. Corey Hallett up there as well, Harold Ralph, and we'll go through the full grid here shortly once qualifying wraps up in about 9 seconds time. But it's certainly been a great summer, but it certainly would not be doable without some great partners. It seems we've lost the logo for Power Crunch, but I can still tell you about Power Crunch protein bars. The 5th round now of the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour is fueled by Power Crunch Pro, the iconic cream-filled wafer protein energy bar with 20 grams of protein. This is protein reimagined. They've done a great job of supporting the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour, as well as the Maconi Setup Shop, who did gift their most recent Legends car at Charlotte. So I guess Charlotte Legends Oval setup for the Legends car to the series to use this evening. We've got a field to work through here down the grid. Trey, take it away.
All right, our pole sitter on row number 1, Tyler Payne. Starting 2nd, we have Jeffrey Wallace. Starting 3rd, we have Cody Moorcroft. And on his outside, starting 4th, we have Brandon Holtzclaw. Starting 5th, we have Eric Steele. And starting 6th, we have Corey Hallett. 7th place, we have Harold Ralph. 8th, Matthew Kopp. Rounding out our top 10 in 9th place, we have Charles Gettings and Travis Hofler rounding out in 10th.
11th brings us Joseph Ralph. To his outside, it's Rogelio Ramirez. And it's Matthew Hughes on the inside of row number 7. Steve Mullins in 14th. Donald Fisher in 15th. Sean Wilson in 16th. And towards the back end of the field, we got Christopher Woodard, J.D. McGee rounding things out. 18 cars here for race number 1 on the evening. Now, something to mention, Trey, we get 2 races when these guys visit Pit.TV, I suppose. And so we get to look out for 2 30-lap races. Means these guys get a mulligan if things don't go quite right. We talked about Power Crunch Pro supporting the series. We also want to talk about some other partners. We've got Tucson Sound Art. Your picture, your music. You provide the image you want, and we will custom create a beautiful framed, high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. With Sound Art, you get the best of both worlds. Visit TucsonSoundArt.com for additional info. And then also, we want to thank Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. And when it comes to your appearance, Trey, let me tell you, you deserve the best money the best money that care can buy, the best care that money can buy. It's been a long day, let me tell you. At Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, the owner, Ashley Bollier, is a certified micropigmentation specialist who provides professional, safe, and personalized services. And if you're looking for the best solutions for your PMU concerns, give them a call today to book a consultation. You can contact them at permanentmakeupinmaine.com or call/text them at 207-358-8683. If you visit their Facebook page, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, you'll see they do monthly giveaways, and if you submit your free entry, you just might win. We also want to thank Whiplash Media. This will be a little shortened. You can actually go to Whiplash Media's Facebook page right now, as well as David Levine Racing, for live updates as to David Levine Racing's run in the Lucky Dog Racing League event, currently being held live at Charlotte Motor Speedway right now. So they're whizzing around the roval. We're here on the Legends Oval, but on this Legends Oval, we're about to go green flag racing. Tyler Payne in P1. We're green for the 5th week of the summer tour.
Yeah, Tyler Payne and Jeffrey Wallace send them off down across the stripe. Tyler Payne, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Jeffrey Wallace soars to the lead as Tyler Payne seemed to have a little bit of a mix-up there out of 2.
Yeah, that almost looked like a short track restart where they get called back for a false restart or whatever you want to call it. They bunch up further back. They were 3 wide across the line that time, racing for about 7th place. Jeffrey Wallace trying to walk away with this one, though. The Power Crunch Pro, number 99, now with the race lead. Brandon Holtzclaw in P2, and they're racing for... Oh, Holtzclaw goes around!
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Oh. Man, I wonder if he may have just gotten into the gas a little too quick. I mean, as we mentioned before, you're coming off of that flat surface of the turn, getting onto that banking may just upset the car a little bit.
Well, we will go ahead and get a replay here from our turn 3 camera. You can see Holtzclaw giving Payne a run for his money to go into lap number 2. And, I mean, he got Payne cleared right there out of turn 2. And that's how he got that second spot. And then he's racing Payne through 3. And I don't think there's any contact. Yeah, he just gets loose out of the corner. And I was turning some test laps myself. Thankfully, we have that rather cheaply available to us here on iRacing. And I'm going to be honest, man, I did the same thing a lot. It's definitely tough to wrangle these cars down and keep things in control like that. These cars are tough little cars to drive, so I can't blame him. I can't knock him for getting a bit loose, getting a bit sideways, and spinning out of the corner.
No, it happens to the best of us. I've turned quite a few laps here myself, and if I had $1 for every time I'd do it, I could probably buy a Legend car.
Right, I mean, it's so easy to do, and granted, when I was testing some laps earlier on, it was not on the same setup, but it was still pretty darn tough, and I'd imagine this setup is still a bit tough to get down and get down right. While it is made by the wonderful guys over at the Maconi setup shop, I'd imagine just because of the car, it's still a bit tough to drive. Sometimes you can't adjust those things out of a vehicle. But we should be coming to the one-to-go signal this time by, I believe, and it's definitely interesting for me to see a Mustang pacing a bunch of Legends car around this little Legends Oval. If you don't know, the summer shootout wrapped up, let's see, a little over a week ago, about a week and a half ago. And it's kind of deja vu, I think, even for you, because you watched some of the Legends Nation broadcast to see these guys on iRacing as opposed to on Legends Nation TV. It's kind of interesting to see Legends cars on the sim here.
Yeah, most definitely. It's always a good time watching the guys over on Legends Nation's TV, and especially probably very different for you versus operating a camera virtually versus on top of the roof.
Thankfully, iRacing makes it a whole lot easier. I'm lucky enough to have the opportunity in real life, though, and get to work on myself in that regard. It's a whole lot of fun, and it's definitely a bit tricky. We are coming to the restart here shortly. Jeffrey Wallace, Tyler Payne still in front row, though they have reversed roles. And they roll through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to come to the restart. The green flag flies. We're back at it at Charlotte.
Tyler Payne looked like they reversed roles in that from the first start to that restart. Tyler Payne had a good restart, but looks like that outside line didn't really work to his favor there.
They stay nose to tail. Moorcroft gets third. Steele in fourth further back. Hallett was racing there for fifth, and now he goes to the inside of Steele off into turn 1. He's going to steal fourth place away from him. That is Harold Ralph in sixth place, looking to the bottom side of Steele.
Yeah, further back, you see the 15, Harold Ralph, almost making contact, making that bottom, more contact.
Oh man, that's
around into the outside wall.
That was a pretty big one right there, and he called it. He was just trying to get there and trying not to make that contact, and they end up making that contact, and it's on from there. We'll see it from our turn 3 angle, and just gets in a bit deep to make some contact, and it's so easy once you make wheel-to-wheel contact to go around. There was more contact with another Ralph. Joseph Ralph goes around out of turn 4.
Yeah, look further on. Matthew Kopp actually got turned around in turn 1 and 2 a little after that. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But nonetheless, we're going to see what happened with Joseph Ralph here. Looks like 3 got into him.
Yeah, Gettings got to the inside, and then Holtzclaw kind of pushed him the rest of the way in there. We'll play this one more time. And this is a secondary incident, so some of this may have been reactionary as well to what was happening up ahead. You see the 20, that is the 20 car of Travis Hofler goes to the inside, and then here comes Gettings. A big send right down to the inside. He has to get on the grass, and then he pushes up, and actually, Holtzclaw may not have made any contact, and Gettings just gets into the side of Joseph Ralph there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It looked like that bumper bar may have gotten into the back end of it looked like Holtzclaw may have actually used that bumper bar to get into the back of him. But, you know, from that angle, it was kind of hard to tell, but surely nothing intentional.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think these guys have any vendettas out against one another at this point. It's been, 5 weeks now of racing, and I don't think these guys really had any big incidents. 1 or 2 here and there, but nothing egregious, nothing to get that mad over. And, I mean, it's been a really cool culture to be a part of in the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour. A lot of great racing, a lot of great people, so really, really glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, most definitely. These guys put on a heck of a show. Very good group of guys to be around, and I'm honestly really happy to be a part of it.
We're now on lap 5, coming to lap number 6 of 30, trying to knock some of these laps out of the way. Out of turn number 4, the green flag flies. We're back racing at Charlotte.
Jeffrey Wallace going to have the bottom line here. You're going to see Travis Payne go wide. They're not going to work out to his advantage. Cody Moorcroft on the inside. We have a caution out. 3 cars involved in the back of the field.
Holtzclaw looks to be in the center of this one. We'll, of course, get a replay for you guys and see what happens to this guy. Holtzclaw's been in the center of everything, hasn't he? He goes around for our first yellow, and now he kind of actually rolls up on something else with Joseph Ralph and Matthew Hughes. And, you can't pull away when you got cars coming at you like that.
Yeah, unfortunately for Holtzclaw, he had nowhere to really go in that one. We got another view of the incident here. It happened right in front of him. Looks like the 7 and... what is it, Harold Ralph or Joseph Ralph? Joseph Ralph, the 35, just made some tire-to-tire contact and sent him around, and Holtzclaw nowhere to go, just dove right into it.
We'll take one more look at this from the roof again. And so we're watching the 7 of Matthew Hughes, and he's going to check up a bit. You see the 57 of Hallett stop, and Ralph just rolls straight into his right rear. They go around, and well, we've got a big spin in turns 1 and 2, but thankfully they get away without too much damage, too much further incident, and we keep rolling. I mentioned that there is another event happening at Charlotte Motor Speedway right now. That's in real life. They are actually the Lucky Dog Racing League that we cover on Tuesday nights here at Pit Stop TV, at least their sim division, the Lucky Dog Sim Racing League. They are currently racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway, their first foray into East Coast racing, as they are West Coast based. And In fact, if I get my phone again, where did I put my phone? I can read off who is leading in that one. Because they are, again, competing at Charlotte Motor Speedway right now live. You can find this on Race Monitor. Hot Rod Lincoln is currently the race leader, the number 595. A2 Racing in second. That is the number 12. Loose Cannon Racing in third. A lot of Champ Car guys throughout the field. Supplementing the field that we've got. But David Levine Racing, who Whiplash Media does the social media for, and we've got our own Trey Shellsworth down there, as well as the wonderful Ricky Martinez down there getting pictures of the number 259 Miata. David Levine Racing currently in 7th place, 8 laps down to the race leader. And let's see, the best lap time is a 1:53.554. To the leader's best lap time of 1:47.592. Of course, guys from different classes and all kinds of different reaches of amateur sports car racing, so that's why there's that big gap there between 1st and 7th. But David Levine Racing holding their own towards the top of the field.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Still a lot of racing to go this weekend. As you see, we're going single file here. Jeffrey
green,
Wallace
green.
going to lead us to the green out of turn 4, and we are back green, taking lap 7 of 30.
Through turns 1 and 2 they go. It's Wallace, Payne, Moorcroft, Hallett, rather. I almost read that as Chalet for a moment because Corey Hallett, but Hofler in 5th, Gettings, and they're racing further back. There's some good racing back here as well. The 22 of Kopp gets clear of Harold Ralph, and you see the 32 back there, sorry, the 12 there as well. That is Steve Mullins. I think that's a new name. Side by side go Ralph and Kopp, though Kopp loses that spot.
I don't think Kopp had a really good line going into the corner there. It looks like he's about to get overtaken again. Looking further up through the field, actually Eric Steele looking to go right there. Matthew Hughes also getting up into the mix here. Jeffrey Wallace still our race leader. As we see, looks like Rogelio Ramirez coming to make a pass on Matthew Kopp as well. Brandon Holtzclaw getting into the mix.
Yeah, that's Rogelio Ramirez going on by, or trying to go on by. Holtzclaw gets on by him. Now they go side by side out of turn number 2. Matthew Kopp continuing to lose spots. This is now for 11th, 12th, and 13th that we're watching back here. You can see the leaders and a small little insert on the bottom right. And so we're not going away from that battle just yet. We still want to show the lead, but it is rather spread out. In fact, it's a gap of about... Actually, the gap doesn't seem to be working here at the Legends Oval, but it's a decently sized gap back there. Further up, you see one car slow. That is, it looks like, man, who was it? That was the one of Donald Fisher getting up out of the way, trying to stay clean here.
Yeah, he's done a really good job of getting out of the way of these guys. Now he's got a clear track ahead of him and behind him. Tyler Payne setting our fastest lap. As you can see, he's still running P2, trying to run down our race leader, Jeffrey Wallace, but he is most definitely digging right now.
And he's now side by side with our race leader. We'll go to that battle off into turn 1. Payne working the bottom side to the inside now of Jeffrey Wallace, and he's got the nose ahead down the backstretch into turn number 3. Does he have him cleared? Not quite. Wallace fights back on the top. Now he clears him. Wallace loses that spot and loses a lot of time out of 4. That's going to open the door to Moorcroft to get into this one, and he actually misses the corner a bit. He got in there really deep, misses the corner, loses a lot of time to Jeffrey Wallace in 1 and 2, and now he's going to have to reset, see if he can get back at him. The lap car, Donald Fisher getting into things. He holds Payne up for a moment. They get on by, though. Moorcroft has to take a wider line into the corner. Everybody else, though, gets through.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to see when you're leading a race, a lap car getting in the way. Donald Fisher did a good job trying to distance himself there. Unfortunately, just wrong place at the wrong time, but thankfully no contact was made, and we're still racing.
And this top 3 doing really good stuff right now. Corey Hallett a little ways further back. He's not too far back of Courtney Moorcroft, I suppose, but he is kind of just holding his own there. Now, actually, we were talking about Tyler Payne going fastest on the racetrack. Look at Jeffrey Wallace. He's got a car to chase now. He goes fastest on the racetrack. He goes purple that last time around. We'll see if he can get to the bumper bar there of Tyler Payne, maybe move him out of the way for the race lead.
Yeah, there's Matthew Kopp getting getting put a lap down here, and Jeffrey Wallace most definitely following Tyler Payne, figuring out how to get the cornering better and what line to run to gain that extra speed, and it's working out for him. Cody Moorcroft also not too far behind, but I think as long as he can get that turn 1 and 2 cornering down, I think he'll be up in the mix soon.
You see these drivers not having to contend with lap traffic. That's a part of racing at a place so small. It's only a quarter mile, so you come up on these drivers pretty quickly when they're a little bit off pace, and you've really got to work your way through that lap traffic. In the Masters division at the Summer Shootout last week of the season, Robbie Woodall got up into a lap car, I forget who it was, and actually cut the tire down. And he was leading the championship battle by only 7 points going into that final race over Robbie Faggart. And he cut his tire down the backstretch out of turn 2. Robbie Faggart actually gave him the bumper pretty darn hard into turn 3, and they raced it out. Ended up, Faggart goes around, and actually Todd Midas came through and stole the show. But, I mean, just the lap traffic getting in the way here sometimes. It's not even intentional, and sometimes it's nothing that the lap car did wrong. You just run out of closing time, run out of room here. It's a tight little racetrack.
Yeah, it is definitely very tight. You know, we were talking about how, you know, at Atlanta, having 2 cars side by side, saying that you run out of racetrack. Well, there's a lot less room here, so especially if you got 2 cars battling, you got a car much slower than you in front of you, and you're trying to do something, there's not a lot of room to go unless you're trying to put them in the grass.
Yeah, no, definitely a tight ship here at Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Legends Oval. But they're figuring things out. One driver who's fallen way off is Cody Moorcroft. He has lost sight of the leaders just about. You see him now getting by Joseph Ralph, the lap car. It's Corey Hallett a little further back in 4th. Harold Ralph in 5th. And so big gaps up at the front. Then it starts to tighten up a little bit. Charles Gettings has company from Travis Hoefler, not too far behind. Matthew Hughes in 2nd place. 8th place. I don't know why I said 2nd. Don't know where I got that from. Eric Steele back there in 9th in turns 3 and 4, and he's got Holtzclaw to worry about behind him.
Yeah, Holtzclaw has been in a whole mix of things as he dives it down into turn 1. Almost thought he was going to get a little bit of contact there, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. Going to follow in right here behind Eric Steele. Just a lot of ground to be making up, but not a lot of time to do so.
And you know what? These guys are about to go a lap down. You're about to see them in the same frame as those leaders on your insert on the bottom right. Oh, Wallace loses a lot of time out of the corner. He almost went around out of turn number 4, hangs onto it, thankfully. We almost had something big happen there for the race lead battle. And, man, that was something. Final lap, white flag comes out for Tyler Payne. Jeffrey Wallace loses out on that battle through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Tyler Payne snagging race win number 1 on the summer tour for the number 18. Tyler Payne wins at Charlotte. And what a run he put on. Remember, he lost that lead right at the start and got it right back a little while later.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be a tight battle for that. Unfortunately, fortunately for Jeffrey Wallace, he hung on to P2. I thought Moorcroft would have been able to take advantage of that, but I'm not quite sure what happened there. But Jeffrey Wallace did a heck of a job hanging on to that car for sure, because these things are, once they snap on you, they are a handful.
Well, they definitely are. And, I mean, that's the best example, I think, is Jeffrey Wallace. You know, he's racing for the race win, and he just does one little thing wrong. I think maybe he gets in the throttle a little bit too early out of turn 2, one lap, and suddenly that car is almost going around on him. He's almost spinning out and losing that second spot entirely. He ends up losing his chance to go win the race, sadly. But remember, we've got a whole second race to do it all over again, and they will not be inverting. I believe they'll be requalifying as well for their second race on the evening. So we'll go ahead. We will step aside for a moment, gather our race winner, and we'll be talking to Tyler Payne here shortly. And welcome back, race fans, to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Continuing coverage now of the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour here on Pit Stop TV. We have a race winner to speak to, Tyler Payne. Changing things up finally. You win here at Charlotte.
Yeah, man, it's nice to bounce back from some bad luck throughout the season. I knew it would have been a lot different if Parker was there, but it's definitely nice to get one right at the end.
Yeah, I mean, tell us about being a driver that really was good all season long, but always being mired a little ways further back, even if it was only in second place, just because Parker Retzlaff is so darn good.
Yeah, honestly, talking to all the guys, we all agree that second place definitely feels like a win. But when you race a guy like Parker, you know he's one of the best on this game, period, and you try to learn from him. It's definitely good having him in our league, and I think he makes us all a little bit better, so that's nice to have him.
I mean, absolutely. Anytime you can keep yourself honest and really have to drive the thing, I think is a good thing. With him not showing up here for race number 1, it kind of opens things up a little bit. I'll even bring up the point standings coming into this evening. That is the wrong graphic. There we go. We got points. That said, even though it opens things up a little bit, you might be just a little too far out to maybe get up to him.
Yeah, we were checking it out before the race, actually. We're like, man, Parker's going to come in here last minute, turn 2 qualifying laps, and beat us all by 5/10. But he didn't show. I think we're all a little bit short, but second would be nice. I saw Matt Hughes, second in current points, is having a little off night. So not good for him, kind of good for me. So we'll see how it works out.
So going into race number 2, what's your plan of attack? 30 more laps, but it's not always as cut and dry as it sounds.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely feel like Jeff had something there for me at the end. I think he was saving a little bit more. So going into this race, I think I'm just going to take it a little easy. I almost lost it going into 1 on the first lap. I think I was anxious after that. So definitely going to try to slow it down a little bit and just take my time on the second race.
Well, sounds good. I'm sure we'll be talking to you here shortly. Tyler, before we let you go, though, in case we don't talk to you a little while later, who makes it happen for you? Who do you have to thank?
Definitely Jeff Maconi at Maconi Setup Shops, man. He's made this game 10 times easier for me. I love running his setups, sponsored by him, so maybe that was a little benefit to me tonight, just having experience with all of his setups. And, this game's just 10 times better since I hooked up with him.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Payne, our race winner in race number 1 on the evening. We thank him for his time. Certainly a great run that we had from him in race number 1 this evening, Trey. And with that, we have some results to look at.
That we do. So we'll go through our race results here. Tyler Payne getting the dub here at Charlotte for race number 1. Jeffrey Wallace, P2. Cody Markcroft, 3rd. Corey Howlett, 4th. Harold Ralph, 5th. Charles Getting, 6th. Travis Hofler, 7th. Matthew Hughes, 8th. Eric Still, 9th. And Brandon Holtzclaw rounding out our top 10.
And the back end of the field, look like so. Rogelio Ramirez 1 lap down in 11th. Matthew Kopp 1 lap down in 12th. Then it's Steve Mullins 2 laps down. Joseph Ralph 2 laps down. Donald Fisher 4 down. And finally, a few guys at the back that looks like don't make the start of the event. We've got Christopher Woodard, Sean Jr. Wilson, and J.D. McGee rounding out the field. Again, we'll look at some of the tracks that we've had this season in the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour. South Boston, Southern National, a couple of just tooth and nail, hard to race, short tracks. Lanier would go into that grouping as well. Really, the Daytona of this series ended up being USA International Speedway at 3/4 of a mile rather. The longest race we had on the schedule, or longest track rather. That was, honestly, like a super speedway for these guys. Everything else has been really tight, tooth and nail. You've really got to fight for what you get. And it's been a great season, a great summer of racing with these guys. We look forward to bringing you more racing throughout the fall. We don't know what it's going to be just yet, but if you stay tuned, you will see it. We do have one more race on the evening. Don't go anywhere. We will have that for you shortly. Tyler Payne wins race number 1. We'll see if Parker Retzlaff connects to race number 2 to claim his championship. We will see you there. Again, don't go anywhere. This is Pit Stop TV's continuing coverage of the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour finale at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good. Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pit Stop TV. We're so glad to be joining you again from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We got the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour on the racetrack, ready to wrap things up this evening. You wouldn't know it, but there's actually two races happening at Charlotte, because we've got the Lucky Dog Racing League out here as well, but they're in real life, and we just, we can't see the race cars. But you know what? as things fall. Don't mind that. What I can do real quick is pull up the race monitor leaderboard that we currently have for the Lucky Dog Racing League. If you don't know, we covered the Lucky Dog Racing League's Sim Division, the Lucky Dog Sim Racing League, on Tuesday nights here on Pit Stop TV. We were so glad to have that series with us back earlier this year. I think Richard Basford that's the name. He was the one who won everything, kind of like Parker Retzlaff here. And unfortunately, Basford is not in the field. Otherwise, he would be, I'm sure, winning. But Loose Cannon Racing, currently your race leader at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Lucky Dog Racing League. A2 Racing in second place. Baltimoreans, what a name, in third. Apocalyptic Racing in fourth. Hot Rod Lincoln in fifth place. If you can't tell, these are all teams. They are endurance racing. They've got 4 hours on tap this evening. They're already through 3 hours and 13 minutes of that. So they'll be wrapping up about 10 p.m. this evening. David Levine Racing, one of our Whiplash Media clients, is currently in 7th spot, and he's trying to work his way up. I'll actually pull that back up. Last I knew, he was second in class, and I'll look back at it. He is, yes, still second place in Class 2. Hot Rod Lincoln, who is 8 laps ahead. No, 6 laps ahead now of David Levine Racing. So David and his crew are moving up. Now, we have our own Trey Shuttlesworth down there taking pictures for Whiplash Media and for David Levine Racing. We also have Ricky Martinez on the camera for us down there. David Levine, of course, one of our Whiplash Racing drivers here on the sim. He's competing, obviously, it's David Levine Racing. And we also have Brian Miller out there, one of the drivers. Let's see, Todd Shockman and some others. So a really great crew down there. I'll be back down there. I was down there earlier. I'll be back down there meeting with Jason Miles and Justin Parcher again, and some of those guys, Aaron Sloman as well. So we wish all of them the best this weekend, and I can't wait to be back at the racetrack with those guys. Trey, it's an awesome experience, an awesome atmosphere for the Lucky Dog Racing League. But enough about that. Back to what we have here this evening. Things are getting a bit interesting because while we don't have live updated points after race number 1, we can pull those point standings back up. And Parker Retzlaff still is not here, to my knowledge. Tyler Payne won race 1, and honestly, he might have a shot at getting the championship out of this.
Yeah, that's very not what we were expecting coming into this race at all. Like, Parker's still not here, with Tyler getting that win, most definitely boosting him up in the points. I think that may have pushed him up to second in points now. And I think if he can get another one, if he can get another win, it's going to be close.
It's going to be tight for sure, and there's no way of knowing until a little while later. We'll try and stay on the air until we have a for sure number on the points and who wins the championship here for the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour. But you see this coming into this evening after USA a couple of weeks back. It's 250 from Retzlaff to Hughes, another 50 from Hughes back to Gettings and Payne, who come in tied. And then it's Cody Moorcroft in 5th, Harold Ralph there as well, William Sean Wilson, I think Sean Jr. Wilson on the sim, Rogelia Ramirez in there, Travis Hofler and Brandon Holtzclass. So a lot of good drivers working their way up in the standings as well. And we saw some of these guys have interesting runs in that first race. Holtzclaw, a couple of spins, but we are wrapping up practice here for the second event. I believe we're going straight into qualifying.
Yeah, I expect to see some faster times and maybe a little mix-up in qualifying to see some different guys.
I'm going to interrupt you here, Trey, because we have clarification. 165 points for winning, 160 for second, and so on. So Tyler Payne can win the championship. This is not over. We've gone all summer thinking Retzlaff had it in the bag, and suddenly Tyler Payne can win the championship. Not only that, all these guys up there have a shot. Let's see, all the way through the top 4, really. I don't think Moorcroft, well, actually, he might have had enough points to maybe get up to Retzlaff. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. So it's certainly not over. In fact, I'll do a little bit of quick math. If it's 165 to win, that is a total of 330 max points. So, trying to think. Yeah, Moorcroft even is within range, but I think actually with his result in that first race, he will not have a shot at it. But still, Tyler Payne suddenly could walk out of here our champion of the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour. We still don't know if we'll have Parker Retzlaff connect here in the later stages, but for right now, it's looking like that championship is suddenly wide open.
Yeah, I think as long as Tyler Payne stays consistent and ends up getting that dub, I think it's all his.
We see some cars on the racetrack. Some of these guys switching numbers as well. Holtzclaw has gone from the 13 to the 9. Harold Ralph stays in the 15. Some other guys changing numbers around a little bit. Donald Fisher suddenly goes from the 1 to the 38, but it looks like his car will still be numbered as the number 1. But regardless, we have, 16 cars ready to go back at it for race number 2 on the evening. Jeffrey Wallace currently P1 in qualifying. Eric Steele currently second place. Cody Moorcroft in third. Charles Gettings in fourth.
Matthew Hughes currently sitting fifth. Holtzclaw in sixth. Harold Ralph in seventh. Ray Hallett 8th. Travis Hopefler 9th. And Rogelio Ramirez 10th. We have 2 cars that have not qualified yet. Tyler Payne on track right now, getting ready to start his timed lap. Actually, that was his timed lap, and he goes straight to the top of the board.
Suddenly, it's a tangible idea that Tyler Payne wins the championship this evening. This number 18 has had a wild ride. I wish we had the clips from Southern National where he goes barrel rolling off into turn number 3. It's been a wild summer. He goes even faster on lap number 2. Man, it's incredible to think that suddenly he has a shot at it, a realistic shot at winning this championship. Hopefully, he can at least get close. I'm not going to take sides on who should or shouldn't win, anything like that, but hopefully he can get close and make this interesting. Hopefully he comes out towards the front of this. Brandon Holtzclaw still turning laps. Everybody but Christopher Woodard has turned a lap. Actually, Woodard, I believe, is our race admin. So all 15 drivers have turned a lap, and we'll just be waiting on the advancement into the race.
It's not like Tyler Payne took the pole by like a big margin. He only beat him by about 4,600 of a second.
So qualifying continues, although, well, it technically continues, but really it's just Holtzclaw that we're watching turning laps. Everybody's set their qualifying times. We're just allowing this time to run out. 1 second, and we are done. And we'll have a grid to you here shortly. So Tyler Payne, once again, fastest in qualifying. It's going to be hard to beat that number 18 that rolls off in first place. It's Jeffrey Wallace in the 99 to his outside the front row. The exact same as race number 1. A little further back, row number 2, it's Eric Steele and Cody Moorcroft in fourth place. Then it's Charles Gettings and Matthew Hughes on row number 3. A little further back, it's Brandon Holtzclaw and Harold Ralph. And finally, to round out your top 10, it's Corey Hallett and Travis Hofler.
There is Matthew Kopp in 12th. 13th, we have Steve Mullins. 14th, we have Joseph Ralph. And rounding out our field in 15th, we have Donald Fisher.
Woodard, our race admin, pictured there, but not actually racing. We appreciate the fact that he wanted to bring his car here and unload it on the pit lane real quick, though. 15 cars ready to go at it, and that's a pretty, I think, sizable group for what we'd usually have in a Legends race here at Charlotte.
Yeah, 15 cars is a pretty decent field. I mean, it's just even what we saw the last race. Wrecks are going to happen regardless, even if you have 6 cars. But, at a small quarter-mile track like this, it's always going to be tight racing. So the more cars you have, the more incidents you're probably going to see. So I think 15 cars would be a pretty decent-sized field for something like this.
Yeah, I mean, you usually see, sometimes 10 to 20 car fields, somewhere in there. Every once in a while you'll get a little more than 20, but this is, I think, right about what you would expect here at the Charlotte Legends Oval. Now, before we get too far into things, I want to thank some of our partners here at Pit Stop TV. Of course, Sound Art of Tucson, one of our newer partners, and your picture, your music. You provide the image you want, and we will custom create a beautiful framed high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. That's what it's all about at Tucson Sound Art. You literally send them an image that you want put on canvas and framed around a Bluetooth speaker, and then that goes on your wall, and that is the product. And it might sound kind of simple. It definitely sounds a little bit niche at first, but it's a really cool concept. Literally anything that you want can go on a canvas with a Bluetooth speaker behind it. It plays music or whatever. You can play our broadcasts over it if you want to listen radio style. So a really, really cool concept. We appreciate them coming on board. Also want to thank Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. And when it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. At Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, the owner, Ashley Boyer, is a certified micropigmentation specialist who provides professional, safe, and personalized services. If you're looking for the best solutions to your permanent makeup concerns, give them a call today to book a consultation. Their phone number is 207-358-8683, and we're all ready to go into this one, Trey. They're pacing down the backstretch. You see the pace car lights are turned off, and we're ready to go back at it for 30 more laps. Tyler Payne, your pole sitter. Jeffrey Wallace to his outside. Eric Steele, Cody Moorcroft in row 2. They are racing off into turn 1.
I'm expecting to see if Tyler Payne's going to lay off a little bit. Like he said, Jeffrey Wallace around. Big junk. About 3-4 cars around.
They're still piling up. We stayed green for a long time. We finally get that yellow. It was looking like momentarily there, Patton, it was going to stay green, but thankfully we get that caution out to take a look back at what happens here. And let's see, we're going to start off by trying to find that number 99 again. We're in slow-mo here, so I can just find him real quick. And we'll just play from there. So this is still under pacing, and we'll see how it all ends up working out, because there was a lot to try and digest right there. I mean, you see as these guys are still pacing on the replay, Payne and Wallace in the same situation they had at the start of the race last time around, and Tyler mentioned he almost lost the car entirely in lap number 1, turn number 1, the previous race. This time it's Jeffrey Wallace that goes around after I don't want to say choking, but realistically choking there at the end of race number 1, and we'll see how this all unfolds here at the start of race number 2. Oh, he has help. Moorcroft gets into him, and he locks up. Oh, 5, 6 cars involved. They just kept piling in.
Yeah, that when I saw him jacked up on the other car, it kind of reminded me of that crash at the summer shootout. Whenever, except they were up onto the wall.
Yeah, that was Justice Calibro. They got sent up onto the outside wall. But I mean, there's tons of wrecks like that each year at the summer shootout. But yeah, I think you're thinking of Justice Calibro getting wedged up to the outside wall, I think around week 5 or so this year. And certainly a lot of scary wrecks happen, but I mean, these cars are just, they're tanks, quite honestly. They can take a beating and keep rolling, and they are remarkably safe as well.
As you see there, Jeffrey Wallace still maintains his P2 position. But yeah, as you mentioned, these cars can take a pretty good beating. And as we saw, Calibro went back out onto the track, and actually, I believe you said he finished the race.
Oh yeah, he finished, and he did a great job of it as well. I mean, he was driving back through the field and everything, and really put an amazing run together. And that's why he ended up being the champion when it was all said and done of the 2020 Summer Shootout at Charlotte. So there's the reason Justice Calabro is pretty darn good. We were hoping to get him in the field actually this week. It looks like things didn't quite pan out, but man, I wish he could have come in and tried to take the reins away from Parker Retzlaff. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's at Parker's house and disconnected the internet or something, and Parker can't get in. But regardless, we're back to single file restarts, it looks like, just to settle things out. Coming to the green flag, Tyler Payne is the race leader. It's Jeffrey Wallace in second place. And out of turn 4, we've got the green back in the air.
A great jump there by Tyler Payne. Probably pulls about 3 car lengths ahead of Jeffrey Wallace. Looking back through the field, Eric Steele hangs on to 3rd, Charles Gettings in 4th, and Holtzclaw rounding out our top 5.
A little further back, looking at the battle around 5th place, actually a little further forward. Eric Steele slow through 3 and 4. He's got company now from Charles Gettings in there. Starting the 3-car battle and a spin further back. Matthew Hughes around out of turn 4. Donald Fisher, it looks like, with him, the number 38. No, he's in the pit lane, my bad. So it looks like it's Hughes going around all on his own, possibly.
Oh, you see...
yeah, I saw that back in the background.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens to Hughes first. Oh, there it is. Contact with Joseph Ralph. That's what sends number 7 around. We'll see this one more time for the number 7 of Matthew Hughes. Down through 3 and 4. It's 3 wide ahead of him. You see him looking for some kind of room to get through and just gets a bit wide out of the corner. Gets into Ralph, goes around. That was Fisher, though, I think, behind him. That hit the wall. And off the restart, let Moorcroft go by. And what happens here to Donald Fisher?
Oh, he just missed the corner.
Oh, man. He almost goes up and over. We see some of that, too, at the Summer Shootout. Cars going up and over again. Some big wrecks sometimes down there at Charlotte, or really anywhere in these Legends cars, because they look small and they don't go all that fast, but they actually go surprisingly quick. I mean, we're up to 50, 60, I mean, even faster than that here at Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Legends Oval, and it's a tiny little quarter mile. Like, there's not a whole lot of time to get up to speed, and then they're still going pretty quick.
I mean, yeah, as you can see, I mean, we're running roughly about 16.5-second lap time, so, I mean, for a quarter mile, averaging probably, I want to say maybe 70 miles an hour. So, I mean, just for that just that small margin of area, I mean, that's still pretty high speed.
That might be a little bit quick. I don't think they're quite going that fast, but I mean, they're certainly ripping. We'll have to pay attention to the speeds once they go back green flag racing. I want to quickly touch on the fact that this is a true summer tour this summer. The Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour, visiting racetracks like South Boston, Lanier, USA, Southern National, and now Charlotte. Not quite in that order, but it's certainly been a wild ride going from Virginia down to Georgia, then back up to North Carolina, then to Florida, then back into North Carolina this week. It's been a wild ride.
It definitely has been a wild ride, and I'm glad we've been able to be part of it, because we've seen a lot of ups and downs here, and probably one of the ups is probably what went on the last race. Tyler Payne trying to etch his way to a championship victory.
Dang, way to rip on Parker Retzlaff there a little bit, but no, for sure. It's good to see a change of scenery up front. Coming to the restart, it's lap 3, coming to lap 4 of 30. The green flag flies. We're back at it at Charlotte.
Looks like Jeffrey Wallace didn't have a good start. Eric's still trying to make his way into second as he clears Jeffrey Wallace for P2.
There was contact further behind. They work it out. Eric Steele gets second place over Wallace, and that puts Holtzclaw up into 4th place. Look at him moving his way back up the field. Gettings all over him. And Ramirez
upside down.
Right,
Corey
man,
Hallett
caution is
flipping
out.
down the
Caution
front
is out.
straightaway.
And we'll get a replay. He said Corey Hallett was up and over, so we'll see what happens to the driver of the 57. The first race, I'll tell you, when nothing like this, we were actually relatively clean and green, and there it is. Wow. That car, he's so lucky to roll back over and avoid the tow, because that's certainly never good when you have to tow back to the pit lane like that. We'll see what happens here for Hallett. He's racing Harold Ralph through 3 and 4 and out of the corner. Oh, Harold Ralph. I don't think realized the car was on his inside still.
That's exactly what it looked like. Fortunately, Corey Hallett somehow was able to get that car back rolling, and we'll get another view of the wreck here.
And this is a bit slower. We'll see what happens here for Mr. Hallett. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Harold Ralph realized that he was turning so far left with the car to his inside like that. And wow, heavy contact to the outside wall sends Hallett up and over. It's a wonder he didn't get collected while he was on his lid like that. Once he rolls back over, he does get a piece of Cody Moorcroft there in the 80. There it is. Gets a piece of that right rear. Thankfully, I think Moorcroft continued on without issue. We can find out for sure. Yeah, no, he hangs on to it. Matthew Hughes in there as well. Thankfully, they kept it all straight after the fact, but ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, definitely for sure. So that takes out one of our guys. I think we've had 2 wrecks take out guys now, as it actually looks like Donald Fisher is no longer with us in the session. But nonetheless, Jeffrey Wallace, after that little mix-up on the start, rounds himself out P3. Eric Steele, having a really good night so far, finds himself in second right now.
Yeah, you were pretty critical of that number 32 program in practice, but he's putting something pretty decent together right here. Eric Steele in second place, man. I hope he makes you eat your words a little bit because, I mean, I'll agree. He was looking a little bit rough through practice, but he's surprising all of us right now, I think. Turning all of it around. It may have just been he was messing around there at the end of practice when we came in here.
That could be exactly what was going on. You know, I hope he does make me eat my words because, you know, I'll gladly admit when I'm wrong, and hopefully he can make me do that.
I'm just giving you some hell here. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Tyler Payne, our race leader, and we'll see how these guys do across the line to restart on lap now number 6 of 30. We're back at it here at Charlotte.
Tyler Payne once again with an amazing restart. We got bumper-to-bumper contact there with Holtzclaw and Jettings. Jettings holding on to that thing as he almost loses it out of 2.
Ramirez now all over him, pushes him up the racetrack just a little bit. No contact, but certainly the spatial awareness from Gettings. He realized he had to go up the racetrack to avoid getting hit. Ramirez and Gettings continue to battle. Now Gettings kind of gaps him. There was some contact further back. Moorcroft trying to come up through the field.
Yeah, Moorcroft was showing some speed earlier on in the first race, and then I'm not quite sure if he just had a bad qualifying run or something happened, but nonetheless, he is making his way back up through the field as Jeffrey Wallace sets the fastest lap of the race.
And you can see tabs on the leader there as all of this happens further back. So you can see exactly what's happening with the race leader. Tyler Payne doesn't have company yet, but actually the battle for second place getting hot and steamy right now because Wallace just passed up Eric Steele for second.
Definitely a power move going on back there for the second place. Tyler
Could you
Payne
say a power move from the Power Crunch Pro machine?
Yeah, I guess that would be. We got a good action going on back here. Cody Moorcroft making up more spots to the back of the field as he powers by the 35 of Joseph Ralph.
Gets on clear of the 35. Now the 35 has the number 7 of Matthew Hughes to contend with. Meanwhile, Jeffrey Wallace continues to go faster and faster, running amazing lap times, and not quite to those qualifying times, but he's getting closer and closer, starting to reel in Tyler Payne faster that time as well. Wow, 4.93, that's pretty darn quick as well. He's almost there.
Yeah, most definitely. I wonder how I said earlier if Tyler's kind of taking it easy per se, how he said, you know, he might have burned his stuff up and looked like Jeffrey was saving. But now it looks like a little bit of the reverse role. Looks like Jeffrey's starting to use his stuff up as we see he is gaining. Just look at that, all that time he gained right there in 3.
Yeah, but you know what? At the same time, I think Jeffrey Wallace might just be allowing the fact that Tyler Payne is, you know, about to maybe even win the championship after all this is said and done. With no Parker Retzlaff in the field, I think everybody wants to see a change of pace, but at the same time, Jeffrey Wallace, I guarantee you, wants to win the race, so he's maybe trying to weigh it out, save his tires a little bit for the end of the race, and figure out exactly what he wants to do with Tyler Payne.
Oh, absolutely. There's still 15 laps to go when we come across the stripe here. Lots of racing left, lots of time to gain, and lots of time to lose, so who knows what's going to happen.
Now here's an expensive camera for you, Trey Patton. From the rear bumper bar of Tyler Payne, those bumper bars get used up a lot. And man, if Jeffrey Wallace gets up there, he can certainly cost us a camera here on the number 18.
Oh, most definitely. As you see, he gets right up close to it. Get a good shot of that left front there. But he's getting close enough, but not quite enough to get that bumper. As you see, he's catching a little bit of that turf there. If you catch that turf, it could upset the car a little bit. So you don't want to use that turf a lot. You want to stay right on that white line. And you can see that's what Tyler Payne's doing. And that's what Jeffrey Wallace is trying to imitate.
I think Wallace is trying to do something a little bit different, actually. Payne is doing what you normally would do, just the safe racing line, what's usually fastest, but it looks like Jeffrey Wallace is trying to get creative. You know, we had a race on a video game last night where we were trying to diamond the corner off a little bit and everything. I think that's what Wallace is trying to do, trying to find something to get a better run, a better entry, just try to find some way to start beating Tyler Payne in some corner, some part of the racetrack, and really use that to his advantage.
Yeah, it looks like he has the advantage on entry, but on exit, Tyler Payne just surges back.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's proving tough to get up to him. We're going to see out the window here of Tyler Payne's machine. You'll be able to see a small bit. Yeah, there you can kind of see Wallace in the distance, but really the better angle is going to be looking from Wallace's machine up at the number 18 of Tyler Payne. And these are some great onboard cameras to give you perspective of how it looks for these guys going around this little quarter mile in the Charlotte Quad Oval as they start to deal with this lap traffic.
Yeah, most definitely an impressive camera angle here, brought to you by Whiplash Media, providing us with these amazing cameras. Looking on board, we are catching lap traffic, as you said. Looks like, what is that, Matthew Kopp as he's going
that's
around
Kopp they're
him
going by now. And that's allowing Wallace to get right up to him. We see the little insert down at the bottom of your screen where they are racing from, we can see the TV camera down there. We're going to keep these onboards because this is too good to leave.
As we go across, I believe that is Joseph Ralph in the 35 machine. They get around him with no issue. We're coming into turn 3, coming across the stripe with 5 laps to go.
Finally getting some good racing in. This is where usually a race would have just ended. Usually at Charlotte for the summer shootout, it's 25 laps. Here for the summer tour, we're going 30. 1 upping our rest, 5 upping them a little bit. I guess you call it a high 5 maybe. But Jeffrey Wallace continuing to try and put some pressure on Tyler Payne right here. And he's trying to make, I guess he's trying to make him crunch under pressure maybe. Is that maybe too much of a stretch? I thought it was good.
Maybe a little. We'll give you some brownie points, but nonetheless,
do they have a brownie flavor
to go? Ooh, that, we might have to go check that out.
Jeffrey, if there's a brownie flavor or something similar, Power Crunch Pro bars, hit us up. We've got an address that could use some. There's some smoke up ahead. Thankfully, things work out. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, if I'm Jeffrey Wallace, this is go time. Looks like he's lost a little bit of time there to Tyler Payne. There was a little smoke there. Looks like Rogelio Ramirez lost. I'm not quite sure. Maybe have lost it out of 2 or something. But we are taking the white flag.
White flag, 1 lap to go. Now about an 1/8 of a mile for Jeffrey Wallace to maybe get an edge up on Tyler Payne through turns 3 and 4. He's not quite close enough. Tyler Payne is going to exit turn number 4. Another race win. Tyler Payne sweeps the evening, and we're going to wait for the official results, the official tally. But he may have just won the championship here for the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour. What an amazing run.
Yeah, he definitely put on a show for us and for the fans tonight. Jeffrey Wallace put on a heck of a show, trying to get back to the lead there. I thought he may have had something for him going into 1. As we saw him, he sent it down in there a little bit, but unfortunately didn't get the corner edged out as well as he'd like.
And this is something I was told about briefly, that these drivers want to do as a thank you to both us at Pit Stop TV, actually, and Jeff Maconi and everybody at Maconi Setup Shops, they are doing a commemorative burnout across the entire front stretch to say thank you. Just to, I guess as well, all the fans for tuning in. You can see all the smoke rising as they do some donuts down the front stretch. Everybody trying to get in on this and just trying to celebrate a season, a summer of some amazing racing.
Amazing racing, to say the least. These guys have put on an absolute clinic out here. It's definitely been fun to watch and be a part of, and I hope they can do it again.
Absolutely, and it sounds like there'll be more racing in the fall from this series, this grouping in some capacity. We don't know what it will be just yet. Tyler and I, we've had lots of discussions about what we think it might turn into. We'll have to wait and see exactly what we have here in the fall.
Regardless of what they're doing, these group of guys surely know how to put on a show for us, and regardless of what they're going to race, I think it's going to turn out really well.
So as these drivers finish up their season celebrations, we've got some drivers to speak with post-race and now post-season as well. And so glad to get to talk to these guys each and every week. And we always like talking to drivers after the race. Trey, I'm just going to turn it straight over to you with our race winner, Tyler Payne. How close, or any idea of how close you are to beating Parker for that championship?
Yeah, I went into the night. Me and Charles were tied for third, 300 points back. So with 2 wins, 165 each, puts us up at 330 points. So definitely won the championship. That's nice. Just thankful to have such a great group of guys and a great sponsor for the series at Maconi Setup Shops.
That being said, you said that you do get the championship after sweeping the night at Charlotte. Definitely got to be a good feeling to come out tonight, sweep it, and as well get the championship.
Yeah, it's an awesome feeling, man. Like I said, had a string of bad luck there. A couple races in the season. Definitely had it together tonight. Actually, my wheel broke. We ran some practice races while everybody else did, and my cord for my wheel showed up about 12 o'clock today, noon time. So definitely got some practice in right before the race, and I think it paid off.
Well, that definitely showed tonight with 2 race victories and a championship. Who makes it happen for you, man?
Again, Jeff Maconi at Maconi Setup Shops. I can't say enough for what he does for me. All of his setups are excellent, and I highly encourage anyone that runs Legend cars or any cars for that matter to try out his setup. This one at this track we all ran tonight, and everybody had positive feedback. And also you guys for putting this on all season long. I really appreciate what you guys have done for us, and you guys do awesome work, so thank you.
We appreciate you guys having us, and we hope to cover you guys more later on in your fall season if you guys do anything.
Yes, sir. Thank you again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our race winner of race 1 and 2 and our champion, Tyler Payne.
And we'll also go ahead and grab now second place. It's Jeffrey Wallace. And Jeffrey, we talked about you a lot this evening, of course, running second place. That'll happen. What happened, first of all, in that second race right at the end? Or, sorry, first race right at the end?
Oh, man. I think I was trying to use the lap traffic to my advantage and got a little excited. I didn't roll in the throttle as much as I usually do and started to get a little bit, the rear end started to kick out, but luckily I was able to save it and had a good enough gap through third where I was able to finish, still finish in a good spot.
And, well, finish in a good spot you did. While it wasn't P1 in either race, still did really, really well here, wrapping up second place in both races. Is that a good way to finish the season? I'd assume so.
Oh, I love it. No, I struggled a little bit at the beginning of the season, and I'm more of a road racer guy. This is like the first time I really spent a lot of time in the Legends cars, but I grew up racing, sports cars and formula cars, and so this track to me like really worked in my driving style because it was a lot more flat and it felt like two hairpins in a straightaway.
Well, shoot, if you're used to road racing, we'll have to get you in on our endurance races over at Whiplash Racing. But let's talk a bit about Power Crunch Pro, man. You guys have been here all season, and we've been seeing, your paint schemes evolve, putting new Power Crunch products on the machine. And we've been talking about Power Crunch. Tell us all about Power Crunch some more and where we can find you.
Yeah, I mean we're in a local retailers, Albertsons, Walmart, Safeway. Those are the kind of the main guys that we're to. But again, like there's nothing like what we offer in the protein category. We have a nice wafer crunch bar, great protein, and it was the owner of the companies. They're awesome people, and we're really great about supporting this. And when I talked to Kevin, he was like, "Man," so he's grateful for what you guys are doing, and he's really enjoying hanging out and watching these things.
Absolutely. We're grateful for the support of the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour here this summer. I mean, it's been great to have a couple of great groups come together and make this series happen. It's been an amazing summer getting to cover this racing we talked about it all season. South Boston, down to Lanier, then Southern National, USA, and now Charlotte. Hopefully we're talking to you soon. It's some more racing here with this group. We don't really know what's coming up next, but we know something is for the fall, and hopefully you're a part of that, and hopefully we'll talk to you some more.
Definitely, I'll be here.
Well, other than Power Crunch Pro, before we let you go, who do you have to thank?
Man, the Coney guys have been awesome. Really appreciate all the support and effort they put in for us. Doing a really great job with all the setups and that they provided. And I definitely thank my family. They're downstairs waiting for me to get dinner with them while I'm up here with you guys. But they've been a really great support. And I've had all kinds of family across down, even Tennessee. And I'm really stoked and appreciate everybody.
We appreciate
And
what you and well, go ahead.
definitely appreciate you guys too, because without you guys, family across the country wouldn't be able to see this, and it's a good way to stay connected.
Heck yeah, I'm glad that we have all the family tuning in and family, friends, coworkers, whatever. We're glad that we have some fans out there for these drivers. So we appreciate you, Jeffrey. We appreciate Power Crunch Pro, and we'll be talking to you hopefully the rest of the fall.
Yeah, take care, guys. God bless.
And so that's Jeffrey Wallace finishing second in both races this evening. Really cool guy. Really, really cool guy. Always like talking to him. What do you say we go ahead and grab Eric Steele now? And Trey, I'm going to have to give him to you here. I know we had that whole talk about it. Oh, I'm kidding. But I'll just hand it straight over to you with Eric Steele.
Hey, Eric, this is Trey up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man.
Well, since we were talking about it on the broadcast, when we tuned into the first race, it looked like you were or in the practice session rather, it looked like you were having a rather, I wouldn't say difficult time, but a harder time trying to get the handle of that car. But it looks like you proved me wrong here. You started third and finished third. So just talk us through the race and how the car felt, man.
Oh man, yeah. Coming into today from the practice session the other night, this was my first go at the new setup, which was definitely the result of not showing very well in practice at all. Got a couple of tips from the guys who were up running fast. They gave it up there in the Discord group and started working a different line, a different technique, and speed started to come. First race we were moving up through, restarted on the outside, got shuffled up a little bit, and I had lifted to drop back in line, and somebody gave me the old dive bomb, came up across the front end of the car, and to the back I went. Couldn't make any headway from there. Started third in the second race and finished there. It's all I had tonight for these guys, is a third place car. I think I probably could have had 2 of them if I didn't go to the back, but it just took me a minute to figure out the setup here for Maconi, but once I got it going, the lap times were considerably faster, so thank you to those guys for putting this setup together. It seemed a lot more stable than the ones I was used to running, so we didn't have as many cautions as we all thought we were going to, which is a good thing for fans watching from home.
Yeah, nonetheless, you made me eat my words, which I'm glad you did, because I try to be critical on guys in a good way. Because I don't want to talk down on anybody by any means, because I'm not the best guy out there. But, you definitely made me eat my words by running consistent lap times. I was keeping up with you throughout the race, and, you finished third. So, with that being said, who makes it happen for you?
Who makes it happen for me? I'm an independent. I'm just out here doing my own thing, hanging out in these COVID times with extra time on my hands, not going out of the house, sticking around here. So I guess COVID-19 is my biggest sponsor right now.
Yeah, COVID-19 is most definitely helping or not helping out a lot of us here, but we appreciate you running in this league, man, and we've enjoyed talking to you and watching you race. We hope to see more from you, and you have a good night, man.
Hey, thanks for having us.
That is our third place finisher, Eric Steele.
It looks like we've got one more driver to speak with this evening. It's going to be one Brandon Holtzclaw. Brandon, we saw some great things out of you last week at USA. A lot of good racing. You moved up a ton in the points. I think 5 positions. But then this evening, it seemed like race 1 a little bit quiet, and then race 2, you really turned up the wick.
Yeah, race 1 kind of was a little iffy for me there. Spun out racing Tyler, gave it a little too much throttle coming out of the turn. Felt like I had a great car all night, both races. Just wasn't lucky enough to get it all the way up.
We still come out in 4th position out of all this, and I'd imagine you move up some more positions in the point standings. It was still a pretty good night overall when some others ahead of you stumbled. So when it's all said and done, really, do the point standings matter too much? Are you really thinking about that the whole race, or no?
Considering I missed that one race that 1 week, right off the bat, I was in a shorthand there, especially racing against Parker. So it's not really something I was kind of too much worried about tonight. Yeah, it was on my mind. I think last week I was sitting 7th or 8th after the race. So, I mean, it really wasn't a big deal tonight. I mean, if I would have finished first, I probably would have jumped up more than what I did.
So, obviously we documented the fact that Parker Retzlaff not here this evening, and it opened the door wildly to all you guys to not only get a chance to win, but also go for the championship, and Tyler Payne does just that. What's it like as a driver? Suddenly, the guy who's dominated all season long isn't here. It opened things up to everybody, and trying to capitalize on that.
It kind of felt weird, to be honest with you. A lot of us have been talking throughout the week, and we always considered second place a win, especially if Parker was running that night. So really, for us, I mean, for me, it was weird. I think everybody else, it was just let's go out and race like we have been, as if he was 2-3 seconds out ahead of the whole field, and just have a good time.
Well, Brandon, you definitely had a good time, I think, because, again, kept the car in one piece, did a pretty good job of bringing it home 4th here in this second race. Looking forward to the fall. We don't really know what's ahead, but what are your hopes, just for you as a driver on iRacing in general? What are your hopes throughout the fall?
Well, I'll kind of spill some beans here. Me and Tyler have been talking a little bit about setting up a fall series. We haven't finished everything yet. We're still kind of in the works, but hopefully we'll have something out in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we've been speaking, me and Tyler as well, trying to figure out what some good ideas are. So I look forward to hearing exactly what the plans are for the fall. Looking forward to hopefully being back here for the fall racing. So we can't wait to see what all comes of it. Brandon, before we let you go, who do you have to thank this evening for, just in general, who do you have to thank for the season and this evening?
Definitely want to appreciate Tyler once again. If it wasn't for him and Jeff and all them that set it up, we wouldn't have it. Definitely appreciate you guys' support for broadcasting all this for us. Really getting a lot of our names out that haven't had that opportunity. Yeah, I mean, that's about it, man. All season long, you guys did amazing. Tyler did amazing, and we're just super grateful for all of that.
Absolutely. We appreciate you guys coming out and always giving us something to work with to make a name for you guys. So, no, you guys did great all season long, and we look forward to more things coming in the fall.
All right, man. Y'all have a good night.
And that's Brandon Holtzclaw, our 4th place finisher here in race number 2. Now, Trey, we've got a minute and a half thereabouts left in this Lucky Dog Racing League. Well, the first portion of their 7-hour race to open the weekend up. And David Levine Racing, I don't think he's going to make up any more spots, but we've got a minute and a half to wait here. Loose Cannon still leading the way, A2 Racing in second, Baltimoreans in third, and then David Levine's still coming in at 7th place. That's a pretty darn good run to open things up. I mean, we're taking a 7-hour race and splitting it into 4 and 3, and it's a pretty good way to start things off.
Most definitely, and then hopefully they can power off tomorrow and get some of those laps back to leader in class and maybe bring it home with the dub.
Yeah, so these guys do have classes, of course. Not every car is going to be even close. It looks like we have thrown the yellow. Looks like we did just get a full course yellow right at the end. It may just be that they're closing the night off because we are only 45 seconds away, so maybe they're just trying to bring everybody in orderly. It does look like, actually... no, okay, my bad. I was reading things wrong. But David is still second in class. David Levine Racing is still second in class to Hot Rod Lincoln. They are in LDRLB. If you have Race Monitor, you can look this up in the road racing category. You can see all these results right now. Loose Cannon still leading the way. They, I believe, are the exception class. They're listed as SD. I forget exactly what that abbreviation means, but I believe they are pretty much the exception. Faster. I think it's actually a Porsche GT3 Cup car, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it is it's a race car, and it is out there clearing away of the rest of the field. A2 Racing in A class is second overall. They are 2 laps ahead of Baltimoreans. I don't have the information of what car is what kind of car these guys are each running. I know David's running a 90 Miata. And then he has, let's see, a whole 4 laps back to 3rd place in class. So David Levine Racing putting on a great show, and I keep saying he as if it's just David, but no, it's everybody in that car. I believe Todd Schockman got some laps a little while ago. Brian Miller, I think, gets in the car tomorrow. They've got they just ran 4 hours, my bad. They've got 3 more hours to go tomorrow morning in this first race of the weekend. And that's going to kick off at 9 a.m. in the morning. You can follow us over at David Levine Racing, Whiplash Media, to get some updates on that. But to wrap things up here, let's go ahead and walk down these results now here from Charlotte, Trey.
It looks like Tyler Payne sweeps the night away with 2 wins tonight. Jeffrey Wallace finishes P2, Eric Steele 3rd, Brandon Holtzclaw 4th, Cody Moorcroft 5th, Charles Getting 6th, Matthew Hughes 7th, Corey Hallett 8th, Harold Ralph 9th, and rounding out our top 10 is Travis Hoefler.
A little further back in 11th place, it's Rogelio Ramirez. I think he finished there in the first race as well. Joseph Ralph in 12th. That is Matthew Kopp, Steve Mullins, and Donald Fisher rounding out our 15-car field. And Trey, very happy to wrap up a season of racing at any point in time. We've done it now with the SRCA, IORL, Lucky Dog Racing League, and more, and we wrap up another one this evening. What was your standout moment of the last few races of the summer tour?
I had a really good time. Let's see, standout moment. I think what really got me going was at USA, the battle between Brandon and Parker, because it's not like Parker just pulled away by 4 seconds. They were actually giving Parker a run for his money, and that's something we always love to see. Parker came out on top, but good to see guys challenge somebody of Parker's caliber for sure. And USA is always just a fun track, and especially here. I mean, even tonight, Jeffrey Wallace and Tyler Payne put on a heck of a show, and I think those were probably my 2 standout moments for the season.
Fair enough. You know what? I think the most memorable moment of the season to me would be just Southern National in general. That race as a whole was a lot of fun. It was a 50-lapper instead of duels that evening, and man, it was good stuff at Southern National. There were a lot of wrecks for sure, but it was just good stuff that evening, and really glad to be a part of that, and just the whole season in general. So, a really cool way to wrap things up this evening as well. I mean, a new champion that we did not think was going to happen. We can pull up the points one more time. There we go. There's the points. Parker Retzlaff comes in with 250 points back to Matthew Hughes. You think it's all wrapped up, and then suddenly Tyler Payne comes in and steals the show when Parker doesn't show up.
Yeah, I definitely did not expect that at all. I thought Parker was going to show up late, as usual. But, Parker must have had maybe something going on in the real world. Parker does do some real racing, so he could have been prepping for that, or, maybe he just decided to spend some family time tonight.
By the way, it looks like he'll jump to maybe second or third in the standings. We'll have to wait for the official number on that. But Tyler Payne does walk away a champion. And congratulations to him and the number 18 team. And congratulations to everybody on putting together a great summer of racing. And that concludes our coverage tonight and for the summer for the Maconi Setup Shop Summer Tour at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We at Pit Stop TV thank you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action. And we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Join us again next week when we bring you more racing action, namely on Wednesday, as the Bluegrass or iRacing Series takes on Richmond Raceway. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at www.com. Wow. That's the address. You know what? Trey, go ahead and do that part. I can't even.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/pitstoptv, on Twitter at pitstoptv_, and on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, and on YouTube by searching up Pit Stop TV.
For Pit Stop TV, this has been Trey Patton with me in the booth, Noah Carmichael on social media, and Emerson Ardon behind the scenes. I am Andrew Cardinale IV, and we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you, again, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday broadcasts coming to you. Make sure to tune in. We'll see you then.